Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and it is time to test out, or at least for her showcase, the new Santa Shizu Fire. Our second Fire Shizu, ironically. She looks to be a very, very good support with, like I said in my kind of breakdown, a few questionable other choices for her kit, but I think the pros outweigh the cons. So she's physical, she's attack growth, she uses a lance, our first fire lance character, and she is an AoE and lowers pierce resistance by 5%, which goes up to 10 if you have her 6-star. Her first skill, fire attack 50%, awesome. Her second skill, AoE resistance down by 15%. I guess we'll test that out as well. But then pierce power by 15% for 2 turns pairs very well with Violet giving herself pierce. And then her Valor trait, which I'm not really going to do. Her actual trait is a 6 combo of greens increases her own pierce power, which means nothing because she's not giving herself pierce rate. And then she is a team buffer and again gives herself even more pierce power with Rimuru. So we're going to show her off in a pure support setting and kind of compare, if you don't have her, what your maximum power Violet's going to be with everything else versus if you have her, and then we'll see like the jump in damage output that we can really get. That's going to be the whole point of today. And then we'll put her with the new Velzard and use that resistance down and stuff as well. So yeah, let's get this party started. Okay, so we're here on this team to establish a baseline in EX2 Tempered Edge. So we have the turn where we have everything possibly set up for Violet's damage. We have the 6% trait attack from Toa. We have guaranteed crit, guaranteed pierce, 20% attack, and then the 8% crit damage from the charm. We have the 50% alt damage from Guy. We have the 50% orange damage from Benimaru. We've got, a full hand of Violet Orbs, and then Clayman has 18% burn, which we're not really counting here. But then fire resistance, physical attack resistance, and then the crit reset resistance, and then the defense down. So we're going to see how much damage we do here on this turn that Violet can do after we ult with Benny, because he's going to lower defense down by 5% more. And then we'll see how much the orbs do, and then how much the ult does. And then we will come back for the same exact turn with Shizu here, instead of Fire Slime Rimuru, and then we'll have all of her extra additional buffs and debuffs, and then we'll compare, the true DPS. So let's send Benimaru, the Toas, and not the Toas, the Violets, and then the ult. So I don't care what Benny does, he's here to lower defense on his ult effect. So another 10% or 5% down. We're doing 22k per orb. The 200% orb does 44, awesome. And then the ult after the counter attack does 92k with a 45k burn, whatever. So 22, 44, 92. So we'll come back and we'll have that same exact kind of setup, but with Shizu now, and we'll compare. All right, so that took a hot minute. It took a long time of resetting before I got this hand, because now we have to get 3 ults and worry about a few other things. So we're on turn 5. We have almost everything, because it just wasn't physically possible for me to use Hero's giveaway for the 9% fire resistance down, because I need to use the oranges. I need to use Toa when Violet's up front to get that 8% crit damage. But then I would have all that, and then I would have to, change all those, and I'd have one of these units up here, like Shizu or Benimaru, and then Hero, and then Violet. And if I were to try and change those orbs, then I was going to convert all of them to Violet, and then I wouldn't have any orbs to bring in the other ult from whatever unit was in the back. Because I want the 5% defense down on Benimaru's ult, and I want the 5% pierce resistance down on Shizu's ult. So there wasn't really a good way for me to do that. So we are as optimal as we can be, because we still have the 18% burn. We still have the defense and crit resistance, and physical resistance down. Violet has everything under the sun. We've got the trait attack, pierce, power, crit, pierce, rate, attack, fire attack, and crit damage. We've got the 50% alt boost right here, and we're going to now lower defense, lower pierce resistance, and then send some orbs and figure out just how much damage she does. So as reference, our normal orbs did 22k, the 200% orb did 44k, and our alt did 92 last time. So let's do that, let's do this, let's do that, and then that. So, Shizu, 27, okay, fine. There's the pierce resistance down, Benimaru, defense down, and then this orb does 38k, and the 200 orb does 77.7k, and the alt does 160. 160k right there. I mean, that's quite a jump. 22 to 38, 44 to 77, 92 to 160. And we were missing that fire resistance down by 9%, so we would have done just, a tad bit more damage if we were able to set it up like that. But I mean, that is a lot of support. That took like an hour of resetting to get the traits active, because we kept getting countered and lowered, and our HP was below 75% on one unit, and we lost the entire trait. So that was entertaining, but I mean, that's a lot of damage. And we didn't even have like a lot of burn on. Not that we needed it, because we just straight up murdered him. So, I mean, that's really good support for Shizu for two skills right there. One of being very cheap and one being expensive. Alright, let's, I guess let's try that again, but this time we'll use Velzard. And we'll benefit from that AoE resistance down, I guess. So yeah, let's try that. Alright, so I was gonna do the other half of her showcase supporting Velzard, but I feel like that's probably just better used for Velzard's own showcase. So we're going to use Shizu to support a different team. A team that, definitely relies on Pierce Power for at least some of her skill. Not so much AoE damage, but, Shizu is giving Pierce to everyone. Xion has her own Pierce buff, which is good, so she doesn't need it, because already, even before we use anything, she has a higher Pierce buff than what Shizu's gonna give. But Rimuru also could use a Pierce buff, right? So we could, in theory, have it go so where we have the Pierce and Pierce resist down, and the light buff and the crit buff, the attack buff / Pierce for Xion, and then maybe have a little bit extra left over for Fire Shizu's Pierce buff to put it on Rimuru, just so he can, put up an okay damage number as well. So that's what we're going to try and do with this team on Light EX3 Tempered Edge. And I think that as long as I don't get screwed with orbs, I think we'll be okay. And so, I mean, this is good for, using her off meta on a different team where you maybe don't have a good 5th unit. I mean, probably you'd be okay running like Rain or, not Rain, but Misery or Isis on the light team just for those extra greens and the buffs, but okay, that works pretty well. Okay, so let's do that, and let's do the green attack buff, that way we're not overlapping. And this, this works out quite nicely. So let's go ahead and try and take down you first. That gets a Shizu, that's 2 skills used already. The Pierce buff does last for 2 turns as well, so we could definitely get ults ready, activate it, and then not have to worry about bringing her in, or we could gain more skill points, in between that, which is good, because probably what we're gonna have to do here. So let's, well, I mean, actually, this could probably work out. So let's bring Shizu in for Shinsha, because her light buff is only for 1 turn. So let's use the Pierce buff 15%, which Shion is already up to 31%, so we're already double that. So we're not really going to benefit from, you know, this skill right here, but because we're going to activate Shizu now anyways, it means that we're still going to get extra Pierce power out of this, which is good, because it just is more DPS without having to use Shion's actual skill. And this will last for 2 turns, which means that next turn, when we have ults for both Rimuru and Shion, we can probably activate everything. And we're also going to put the Pierce resistance down, because that's also for 2 turns. And I think we're going to... This is going to work out, you know, turn first try. So let's... We can get you out of here now, because the fire buff doesn't mean shit, right? We're not using that on anybody here. We're already up to 90% Pierce rate, which is good. And then here we go, here's that, and then we'll do this. This will give us the ults for both of them, gives us maximum points. Not the full Shion, though, or Shizu, which is unfortunate, so we might have to hold them in the back. We did good damage there, though. I mean, I'm not upset with that number. Okay, now we got the trait from the hero and Rimuru, so good, we're fine. So let's do the crit buff. Oh, we're not going to have enough, actually, because that is quite a hefty skill right there, and we still have to use this one as well. So... Oh. Well, I haven't crashed in a long time. Alright, well, I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. And there is probably a way to do this. So let's rewind and crit buff. So we're going to need 40 points to use everything, because we need 25 here and 15 here. Hopefully we can get 40 points out of this. How much do these 3 give us? Well, we don't know, because they're all maxed out. Alright, so let's do that. That'll give us 100% pierce rate. So, let's go ahead. So, crit and rewind, and then how many points do we get? We get 20, so that's 35 points. Not the greatest, and definitely doesn't get where we need to, so we might as well just use Shizu now, because we're guaranteed now anyways. We'll change that last blue, and then these 4 should give us our 40 points. So, okay, there we go. Alright, so now we're ready to go. Go ahead and send this. Yeah, we'll send this on you. 9,000, 5,000, 7,000. There's a weird difference right there. Okay. So now, let's bring Shinsha in for the hero, who doesn't have any orbs anyways. Let's use the light buff, and then we're going to be at 46% pierce power. Alright. So now, am I confident that Rimuru can kill here? Pierce resistance down, AoE doesn't matter, pierce resistance down here, crit resistance down, Rimuru has attack, pierce power, crit rate, pierce power, and then light attack. And you have how much health? 58? I think Rimuru can kill with these orbs, so let's go ahead and send the Shion ult on Shinsha. We'll send Rimuru on this, and then we'll follow up here, and we'll see how this goes. 109,000. Decent. 57,000. Okay, so, I mean, we're definitely missing that attack buff, but we were able to 3-turn EX3, which is not bad. That's the fastest clear I've ever had for EX3 light. Okay. I mean, you can't be mad with that. Did Shizu help? A little bit. You know, you gave Pierce that entire time, and you maintained it on Rimuru so he can benefit a little bit instead of just being there with, you know, Pierce rate, which is cool, and then crit, and then light. It's like, yes, but he got that little bit extra, because he probably would have done about 50k, maybe under 50k, without that extra 15% Pierce power. But, I mean, that's a pretty impressive showing right there, just from this team and how well you can run it, and by slotting her in, you're not really losing anything. Like, it didn't feel like I lost efficiency on the team by having Shizu there versus having Misery or Isis. In fact, it probably would have taken longer for those if I had brought them. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. Let's try. Let's make a mockery of the EX Golem just with Shizu though. I want to try and nuke it down with her and see how hilariously weak that boss is now. And that'll probably be the end of the video. Let's go over there. Alright, last part of the video, we're gonna use her to kill EX Golem. Because one, we know that it's not very difficult. So it doesn't really matter if she's an AoE or not, because we're probably gonna murder it just with normals. Two, I mean, everyone wants to see what she can actually do, you know, when she's supporting herself, right? Not just the other main DPSs, but, you know, she is a unit in of itself, and if this Jubilee is going to be a turn limit, then having AoE units will actually be kind of beneficial. So, why are you here? Who should you? You should be Hero. That's who you should be. Where's Hero? There he is. That was weird. Alright, so this will be the last section or potions. Oh, we're back up to 500 though. Cool. Okay, there we go. I don't think this is gonna be hard. Like, Violet, like, what, 4-shot it? So, we know how much. Actually, well, I mean, we could make it even funnier, and we could use Shizu to support Violet and make it even funnier. But let's actually try and make her the DPS here. So we get, okay, that's fairly good. So let's bring her in for Hero. Let's use these. We know that blues are nerfed, so we'll get that one out of here. 5,000 damage, cheeky counter, stabbing a metal golem with a Christmas tree spear, and we have no orbs for her. So, I mean, thank you very, very much. Let's get you out of here. Let's do this. That gets Toa. And then we can get some orbs next turn for her, and we'll kill probably with... Oh, the stun. Right, forgot about the stun. Are all of them stunned? They are all stunned. So... let's do that, I guess. Oh, wait. Wait. He doesn't... They were blanked out, right? Like, they were blanked out so they couldn't be swapped, but they didn't actually get stunned. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. Okay. Sure. Interesting. Alright, well, he's not gonna... Well, maybe. That gets an ult, right? That does get an ult. Cool. Oh, it's almost close. If we sent anything else, they would have died. Alright, so let us use the ult buff. Let's use Toa. And let's use the fire buff. And we can't use that because that'll just straight up kill. I think that's all we can use. Maybe we'll bring Hero in for Benny and use his physical resistance down. Yeah, okay. And then we'll see just how much she can do. This is gonna kill. So we do 30k. Just the ult and the fire attack. No crit. And no attack buff. I'd say it's pretty good. Alright, now I'm gonna go back and look at that recording, because I'm pretty sure they were grayed out. Okay, so yeah, I went back to that video, and it definitely said status stunned. They had the little stun animation over their head. They were obviously locked in, because I couldn't swap them out, and their skills were locked, so it looked like they were stunned, but they still attacked. I don't know how that happened, but cool, I guess. Visual bug? Well, it's not visual. Gameplay bug. I wonder if that's in the news. Hold on. Issues. Currently ongoing issues. It is sometimes possible for your characters to attack even when they've been stunned by the enemy. Also, the icons of some stat abnormalities are not shown as intended. Does not occur in valid code. Alright, well, there we go. Correction in progress as of today. Alright, well. I guess if you haven't beat the Golem or the Orc and you're a newer player, do it now, before they fix that, and you can just get away with it. So, interesting. But yeah, I think that'll do it for the showcase for Shizu. I mean, she is a dedicated support. She's not a damage dealer. She's capable of AoEing and, buffing herself, which is good, but her main focus is to support Violet, or support Velzard, or support both of them, which is probably what's going to happen. And in that effect, she is very, very good at it. Her trait and everything is, really not that important, but these skills are very good, and they really ramp up your damage output. Like, really, 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 really ramp it up, which is exactly what the Fire Team needed. The Fire Team needed a good, damaging, decent team, because their 1.0 was pretty meh. They got it. I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, Velzard being AoE and selfish aside, I think that Shizu, Hero, Benimaru, and Violet, I think were fantastic kits for this meta, and what we were expecting the Fire Team to do. Burn is actually pretty fun, and I can't wait to do all of this stacked up damage with 60, 78% burn and see just how much that's going to do. So that should be entertaining. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Shizu in the comments below, if you've had a chance to use her. Hopefully, this will probably make people want to summon for her because of, the extreme amount of support she gives. But again, I caution you, if you don't have Violet, picking up Shizu will help you still, but it won't help you as much as you want it to, because, Violet is the DPS. Violet is giving herself some crazy buffs. So keep that in mind. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.